everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it is Kirby Superstar for the Super Nintendo. And I remember when this game was new, and I saw this in Nintendo Power, and 10-year-old me wanted this game so bad, because it was 8 games in 1. And 8 games in 1, 10-year-old me back in 1996 probably had the feeling that those 8 games would probably take me a good while. And that I would be spending a lot of time with the game. In this case, 1 out of 2 isn't bad. The games are short because you are still dealing with a console that came out in the early 1990s. And you're playing a game that was made in the mid to late 90s for said console. But even then, you're still going to be coming back to all these games. Like Spring Breeze, which we just saw an attract mode for. And that actually looked very arcadey, I do have to admit. It looks like the attract mode for an arcade game that demo did. Anyway, let's go ahead and press start. We have 3 save files to choose from. I deleted the one from my Twitter tryout, which had like 48% on it. So, I'm going to just go ahead and go to the first save file and start from there. When you start the game, this is where you pick between all the games. This is the game select menu. We have 6 games to choose from so far. Megaton Punch and Samurai Kirby are little mini games. They're not really full-blown Kirby platformers, though I will play those eventually. And of course, you can select this to switch between stereo and mono. You can have the boombox, or you can have the little portable desk radio. I'll go ahead and switch to the boombox, because we're going to do this in stereo. Anyway, we have 4 games that we can choose from that are platformers. There is Spring Breeze, Gourmet Race, which I sadly did not play during the Twitter tryout. I really should have. The Great Cave Offensive, which I'll definitely save for later, because that one will take me a while. And Dynablade. Spring Breeze and Dynablade are kind of short, but I will play Spring Breeze first because that is the easiest. By the way, Revenge of Meta Knight and Milky Way Wishes, those are kind of grayed out. You will have to play through some games to unlock those 2. For now, though, we're just going to play Spring Breeze. Each game has a difficulty level between 1 and 5 stars, 1 being the easiest, 5 being the hardest. Spring Breeze, of course, going to be definitely easy. Spring Breeze, help! All the food from Dreamland has been stolen. Hurry, Kirby, or everyone will starve. And you can press B to back out, or you can press A or start to start it. Now, if you have a saved game, if you played the game before, you can continue your progress. But we're going to start with a new game after we either wait long enough or press X. There's trouble in Dreamland. King DDD and his soldiers have stolen all the food in Dreamland. Kirby's Dreamland won much? Here comes our hero, Kirby, riding away in the Spring Breeze. Let the adventure begin. Yeah, the text went too fast for me. I could have also gotten that if I pressed X, but we will select a new game. Is this your first time playing? Well, for the purposes of this Let's Play, yes. And when you select yes, you will get this very brief tutorial. Welcome to the beginner show. For all you first-time players, here's how we play. This is the controller. It's that gray thing with the purple buttons. Unless you're emulating, then there's probably something else. This is Kirby, our hero. He's a jolly fellow. he says is he's not jolly. Move Kirby left and right by pressing left and right on the control pad. And if you see the controller in the lower right hand corner flashing, that's your cue to move. You won't be accomplishing anything just sitting there. True. When you see a door, push up on the control pad. This will take you to the next area. Let's try. Move Kirby to the door and push up on the control pad. How to jump. Jump by pushing B. Jump over enemies and obstacles. Now let's take the food off the obstacle. Jump by pushing B. And it was saying something, but I grabbed it. Food restores energy. Whenever you find food, take it. There's food up in the sky. Fly up and get it. To make Kirby fly, push B while he is in the air. You don't press up like you do in past games. Good job. And when you land, you'll automatically spit out the air bubble. Use the fly function when Kirby is about to fall off a cliff. That's also pretty good too. Let's move on to the next step. And in case you forgot how to go through a door, it shows you again. Kirby loses some energy every time he bumps into an enemy. It's okay to jump over an enemy, but you might want to defeat them instead. Well, that does help. By pushing Y, Kirby will inhale almost anything in his path. Kirby can inhale enemies and attack by spitting out what he's inhaled. You can also hold Y if you need, in case you need to inhale longer. Now let's practice inhaling an enemy. And if you need to, you can just hold Y. Push Y to spit out a star. This is your attack. And it tells us to destroy the target, and we do. This could be a bit difficult. Or this time could be a bit difficult. Jump and spit out a star. Push B, then push Y quickly. Nice job. That's all for the beginner's show. You'll be fine as long as you remember the things you practiced. There will be other things that I will show off, but they get mentioned in the beginner's show for another game. To start playing Spring Breeze, jump onto the Warp Star. Good luck and have fun! And we will have fun as I explain things. Stage 1, Green Greens. Just like in Kirby's Dream Land 1. The stages are going to look a little bit different, and like in Kirby's Adventure, you can get powers, like the beam power, by swallowing Waddle Doo. Now, I'm going to press A to create a helper. Computer control helpers are pretty good, but I really did this so I could show off what happens when you press start during gameplay. You learn your abilities. Using copy, inhale an enemy by pushing Y and swallow it by pushing A, or down on the control pad. If that enemy has an ability, you can use it. Press A again to create a helper. And of course we know about our default controls, which you will get if you don't have an ability on Kirby at the moment. A not only lets you copy an enemy and make a helper, but you can also return a helper / voided copy, meaning you can transform them back into an object, swallow it, and get that power back. Also, double tapping left or right lets you dash, down and B lets you do a slide, holding down while pressing the jump button, and L and R, the shoulder buttons, let you guard. And then you just go back between these two pages of commands. I'm not going to show off helpers just yet, though. I'm just going to have fun with Beam. And enemies here, you got the Cappies, you got the Bronto Birds, you got the little baby chicks that act as enemies, and you also have this door. You also have an enemy in here for once, as well as a Maxim Tomato, as opposed to a Pet Brew. I'm guessing they still did this in case nobody knew what to do, but if you should have gotten through the beginner show to get before you getting to this point anyway. Also, if you do have a power, you can press the start button, and you can learn how to use Beam, for example. Use the Beam attack against enemies. Fire the beam by pressing Y. This is a very handy and useful ability. So if I've shown off the Beam Whip, I've showed off the another move that's going to be on the next page. You can run and press Y to do a cycle beam, and you can keep pressing it to keep doing it repeatedly. Jumping while running, and then pressing Y will let you shoot a downwards attack. And if you press forward and Y at the same time while near an enemy, you can just grab them and press Y again to hit them with the capture beam. And hold Y is the wave beam. All commands are when facing right. If facing left, reverse all left and right commands. That's the charge beam. That's the beam machine gun. There's the dash attack. I'm not gonna go willy-nilly and swallow every single ability carrying character and show off every ability in rapid fire succession, because we're gonna be here all day if we do that. Instead, I'm just gonna tear through all these enemies and through these stages, because guess what? I can. Now, if I didn't have an ability, I would have had to just wait for this guy to throw bombs, but I don't have to. Also, new enemy when you... Bleh, I can't even speak to save my life. New ability when you swallow Poppy Brothers Sr. The bomb ability. Blast your enemies to bits. Take accurate aim and throw carefully. Your throw will be controlled by Y. Y lets you attack. You can set a bomb if you do the whole forward Y thing. You can also throw a bomb and you can hold a bomb. Down and Y lets you drop a bomb, and pressing Y while running lets you do a straight throw. You can just run and just throw a bomb straight at an enemy. Also, the bomb angle depends on how long you hold Y. So if I hold it for a little bit, I can just do some angled shots. Though it is a little hard to get a perfect 45-degree angle. You have to, like, briefly hold it after you get a bomb up. That one will take a little bit of practice. Also, we have food here. And while the bomb enemies, the Poppy Brothers, can blow themselves up, you can't. That's good. Thankfully, this isn't Bomberman. And you take multiple bombs to kill. And we got even more things that we can do here. Such as blowing up these little star blocks that you can usually inhale and throw at enemies. That little Kirby icon gave us a 1-up. I just dropped the bomb there to get rid of that guy. There's some tomato. There's a tomato, whatever. And the little food items just replenish a little bit of your health. You don't really have pep brews in this game, like in other ones, like in other games. You just have the food items. And while I could create Poppy Brothers Jr., I'm gonna fight our good buddy Wispy Woods the old-fashioned way. Give myself a free hit by doing that. And there we go. We were able to kill him just like that. Wispy Woods will send apples down your way. He can also spit the little air pellets at you. But that's pretty much all he can do. He's a very easy boss. And here's one of the stars that we need to collect to finish Spring Breeze. And it's just like Kirby's Dream Land 1. And even though Stage 2 is Float Islands, that should be Stage 3, we will be going to Castle Lololo. Sadly, we will not be facing Kabula. We will be facing the Lololo and La-La-La. Or really just Lolo and Lala. I don't even know why we fight them. And I got a new power from that guy that I just... the little karate guy that I just swallowed. Fighter. Might as well show it off. Copy the ability as a fighter and assume the role of a mighty karate expert. Increase your power with practice. Strength of attack depends on how long you press Y. Tap it for a Vulcan jab. Hold it down for a second for a smash punch. A running attack lets you do either a leg sweep with a tap or a spin kick by pressing it for about a second, just holding it pretty much briefly. And Y, if in the air, gives you down kick with a tap or a double kick with a brief holding of the button. Up and Y is a dragon punch. Forward and Y near the enemy lets you grab an enemy, and if you throw Y again, you'll be able to throw them around kind of like Rowdy Ronda Rousey. And if you grab them, but you hold back and press Y, you can throw them backwards. Only Kirby can do that ability. Knuckle Joe, if you create him with this, he cannot. Also, when facing left, I'll reverse all left and right commands. I'm going to stop saying that like really quickly, because that last part, because it's going to get annoying really fast. And again, I will go through all the abilities in due time. There will be a point where I will go over all of them when I can, if I have not already. I'm going to go over some of them, but not all of them. Also, if you take the high road after going right here, you can enter this door after breaking some star blocks and get yourself a 1-up if you just stay low in the water and you avoid being hit by those explosive nuts. And hey, it's an invincibility lollipop. Let's grab it and just blow through all these enemies. And this guy too. This guy just creates ice cubes that you can just swallow and send back at him, and if you swallow him, you get the ice ability. I'm just going to blow through him because I can. And now we are at the end of this area already. These areas are super short. And we go in. Oh. I forgot you can't press select. You're forced to create the ally, and then you have to create the item, and then you have to do this. Wow! I did not know you could do that. So apparently the ability star does more damage than these blocks as opposed to Send It, Lolo, and Lalala. So if you create an ally, turn them back into an item, and then spit them at one of these two people, you can kill them in one hit. Also, you can't walk on these areas that aren't solid blocks. You drop down them automatically whether you have something in your mouth or not, which is kind of weird. And let's collect the second star, because we just beat Lolo and Lala. Or Lololo and Lalala, as the Kirby's Dream Land games have called them. And now, Bubbly Clouds, which is the 4th stage in Kirby's Dream Land, and the last normal stage in the game. I will be getting some extra length on today's video. I say as I get Sword, and avoid that shot zone. You definitely don't want to fight them. Sword, the king of weapons. Fire beams from the tip of your sword. Become a master by practicing multi-sword attacks. And of course you press Y once to swing the sword, and you press it again to do a multi-hit attack. If you press it once while your energy is full, you shoot a projectile out. Not surprisingly, Link is wearing a cap pretty much like Link from the Zelda series when he has the sword ability, and that's obviously a reference to the Master Sword. And of course there's the multi-sword attack that I just mentioned. If you attack while running, you do a sword stab, and down and Y in the air lets you do a downward stab. A reference to Zelda 2. Sadly, you can't do an upwards one. That's amazing. That would have been nice, but hey. At least if you run and press Y, you can slash in all directions and make yourself somewhat invincible. And of course, there's these guys, and I wanted to get the food, but oh well. Those little Scarfies there, you can inhale them. If you do, they get mad. Enemies will hurt themselves on spikes. I'm losing more energy than I should. I should probably get some more things. I shouldn't fall in the pits. I should remember that hitting things in the air bounces me back a bit. And even in the air, you can always press up and do this. And I thought I would not get hit there. But Blade Knight is our helper. He pretty much attacks just like we do with Sword. And I thought I was going to hit him there, but apparently not. And that was really, really close. So what you want to do is avoid getting hit with things as you fight Kracko. That amazingly killed him. You can also send the Waddle Dees at him too. I'm going to fight all these mini-bosses and bosses without abilities whenever I can. Show you how to do it in case you don't have an ability. And here's one that I can use. Mic! When Kirby sings, everyone plugs their ears. You're able to use the mic 3 times. You just press Y to activate it. It's a screen clearing attack. Level 3 is a stand mic, level 2 is a desk mic, and level 1 is the megaphone. You can use it 3 times. After that, you're back to normal Kirby. There's the megaphone. There's the desk mic. And there's the microphone. And I do want to... Woo. One, I want to go down... Really? Well, at least he's going to spit me out eventually. But I do want to go down here because... Max and Tomato. And you're going to hit me, but I'll take that chance. I'll still have more energy than I did earlier. There's Cutter, which we could have gotten earlier. The Cutter can cut anything in his path. It's the usual Cutter we've known and loved in prior Kirby games prior to this and in future games. Use it to cut down enemies as well as ropes to get in your way. Pressing Y obviously makes you throw boomerangs, but you can do a slash attack if you run. If you do Y repeatedly air, you do a Cutter drop attack. There's a high-speed Cutter drop if you press down and Y in the air. And in case you're near an enemy, you can just hit them multiple times with the boomerang with a very nice close-up attack. And I want to see if I can show it off. That'd be nice. There it is. I love that attack. I'm not going to show off Stone. I'll show that off eventually, but not today. And of course, you can create your own Sir Kibble. But I'm not going to do that. Also, if you go into this door, we'll fight the boss. We're not going to do that. Let's go in the moon, just like in Kirby's Dream Land 1. And we want to be careful, and we do want to fly by pressing up, because we'll be able to get some food. I didn't know this was here until I did my Twitter tryout. And of course, there's a 1-up. I've just never tried it. I didn't know about the Dreamland one either until later in life, and then I tried this for the Twitter tryout, and what do you know? It's there. So enough food for you and your helper. In case you have a helper and you just collected food, you can just walk up to your helper, and anything you've eaten, you can share with your helper to heal them, which is cool. Better than just recreating them and with the A button in order to keep them from dying and just give them all their health back. And it's a good thing I stepped away. Get you out of there. And we're going to do Hammer. Bonkers is really easy to defeat. He throws nuts that you can swallow and send back at him. Or inhale and send back at him. And he also creates stars with his hammer. You definitely don't want to be too close to him. So we have the Hammer ability, which we did have in Kirby's Adventure. Break through solid obstacles and pound in stakes to take Kirby to hidden areas. Y, Hammer Nail. Dash, Hammer Swing. In the air you can do a giant swing, and you can do an even faster ultra giant swing if you're doing a running jump. Up and Y does the hammer flip, and dash and A is the hammer throw. Only Kirby can do it, Bonkers cannot, in case you create him. And if you throw the hammer, you're gonna lose it. Keep that in mind. Now, I would fight Kracko with the usual abilities, but it's mostly the same as last time. Just avoid getting hit with his thunder, avoid getting hit with his beam attacks, whether he's moving or not. He's pretty easy to figure out. I'm fighting him with the hammer for the simple reason of bringing it to the final stage, which we're going to enter shortly, and that stage is Mount DDD. Now, when you go in, you'll be in a short room, a rather small room, where you can get a couple of abilities, such as Crash, Beam, stuff like that. Not a lot of abilities. And of course, you can kill the enemies for points, but the points are kind of meaningless. You can get Stone, you can get Bomb, you can get Beam, you can get Parasol. That's all you can get, really. But I'm fighting with the hammer. And DDD just fights like he usually does. He jumps in the air and creates 2 stars. He tries to inhale you. He tries to slide into you. He'll even do the occasional swallow a bunch of air and fly at you trick. And of course, the hammer attacks that also create stars. But if I do hammer flip on him twice, I said if I do hammer flip on him twice, game, I knew I should have gotten a little bit closer. That's one of them. That's one of the hits I needed. 2 hammer flips will kill him. It is possible for him to do the douche full sound if you beat him rather quickly, but I've rarely, if ever, gotten it. I think that's how you get it. So that was interesting. I talked a whole lot. I showed off some abilities. I mentioned a few of the key differences that set this kind of apart from Dreamland 1, which weren't much. And we beat DDD and got all the food back. Like in Dreamland 1. And the credits go by super quickly too, which is kind of funny. It just kind of goes on beat with the music, and it's just duh, 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 duh. I'm surprised I'm able to read any of them. I knew Miyamoto's name is in there, Shigeru Miyamoto. I think I caught Satoru Iwata's name in there too. To be fair, he was part of HAL Laboratories, which created Kirby up until the day he passed away, leaving a great gaming legacy and a lot of great games, and even a very well done end game segment of going to the setting of red, blue, and yellow and gold, silver, and crystal behind for everyone to enjoy forever. And of course, if we press any button at this point, we will get the game select screen again. But we've already completed this now. I'm glad. What are we gonna play next? Well, we're gonna play Dynablade. And I'll probably spend a whole video talking about it too. It'll be awesome. Trust me. So join me next time where I talk about Dynablade. I know I didn't talk much about how to get through the game, but really it's very, very simple. Only thing I really need to explain is just how to get past the bosses. That's it. That's pretty much all you need to do. At least all I need to do. You have to be the one playing it in case you want to play along, but hey. What do I know? Anyway, join me next time for Dynablade. I'm going to be talking through that too. I'll probably do that in one video too. And then maybe, just maybe, I might be able to do some cool stuff. So until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!